My name is Andria O'Donovan, Director of Safety First Training. We're looking at lifting loads to and from a height. So the first thing to say about this lift is that it's not ideal because it's up on a height, the load is away from the centre of your body. You're ending up using weaker arm muscles rather than strong legs. There's a risk that the grip could change, which would make the load unstable, and sometimes you end up arching your back, which isn't a good idea either. Any time that you're going to lift a load to and from a height, it should never be more than shoulder level. If it's higher than shoulder level, you need to get some sort of a step ladder to get yourself up. The other thing is that your capacity for lifting when the load is up high reduces. So you want to make sure that you don't put up heavy loads onto a high shelf if you can avoid it. Okay, so we're going to use our principles in the same way. So we're going to assess our area to make sure there's no obstacles. We do have to come in and check that the load is still within our capabilities. Can we tilt it? Can we shift it? We're then going to pull the load out to us. So we get into our step standing position, not too far away. We get a good grip, palmar grip, and we use our body weight to bring the load out over the edge of the shelf. We get our grips and we stand up straight, and then we slide the load off the table and bring it down to our belly button, bending our knees. Stand up, move the feet in the direction that you're going, and then when you're coming back again, one foot in front of the other, and you're going to bend your knees to get some power, and you're just going to place the load on the edge of the shelf. Once it's on the edge, you can readjust your position and you can just push the load away from you then. One point to make is that the way we've done that is for very light loads. Now, you shouldn't ideally have heavy loads up there, but if you did have a heavy load, you would be far better off to bring it out to you, but rather than have a distance between you and the load, actually bring the load in close to you and use the same technique, but the load is close. Equally, when you're putting it up then, keep it close and put it on the edge. You can also put the load on your shoulder, and that's absolutely fine as well. Okay. So, to summarise, what we're saying then is that lifting to and from a height is not ideal. We always want to get loads back to waist level if we can. The reason why it's not ideal is the load is away from you, there's a risk of overstretching, and also there's a risk of the grip changing, which would make the load unstable. So back to your basic principles, avoid it if you can, make sure you do an assessment, and if you are going to actually do the lift, make sure that you always use your 8 principles.